It's One Zambia, One Nation, and welcome to Zanis News. Let us look at the headlines in the news. President Hichilema tasks researchers to develop drought-resistant crops. Public Service Microfinance signs MOU with Imiran Zambia for agro-services. Plus, government to continue supporting sports development. Now, with the news in detail, my name is Margaret Kangwa and my sign language interpreter is John Chulu. President Hakainde Hichilema has tasked agriculture researchers to step up efforts in developing drought-resistant crops to help the country meet its agricultural needs. The head of state explains that in view of the drought situation, Zambia must begin to look into research to breed crops with high production yield that can withstand any climatic conditions. The head of state said this when he visited the Zambia Agriculture Research Institute, ZARI, in Chilanga district. Let us get more in this report.
The drought situation Zambia has experienced has provided an opportunity to the country to go into serious agricultural research to develop drought-resistant crops, efficient irrigation techniques, and sustainable farming practices to ensure sustained food security. The Zambia Agriculture Research Institute, ZARI, is one key institution which has stepped up agricultural research. President Hakainde Hichilema has since visited the institution to appreciate the various research currently being done.
Climate change is here to stay, and the ramifications of climate change are obvious. Drought, sometimes in the same year, drought and flood, same season for countries like Zambia. So we need mitigation measures, and these are some of the mitigation measures. The scientists, the researchers doing their work to breed varieties that are drought resistant, but also to breed varieties that are high yielding so that we can bring about efficiencies in our production of the crops that we produce. This will come from research. There's a global food shortage. The global food basket is half empty, if you like, half full, doesn't matter what you say. So we should be the ones targeting that so we can make money, and that will bring us diversification instead of copper, cobalt, manganese, nickel, and all these niceties, lithium. Those have their place.
Under the circumstances like now, when we have a drought situation arising from climate change, our focus is to generate appropriate technologies that can adapt to this situation.
And Agriculture Minister Mtolo Piri says President Hichilema has given him direct and specific instructions to the effect that no Zambian should die of hunger amidst the drought situation.
We have been given clear orders by the President. Number one, no one dies of hunger in Zambia. Number two, how do we improve the situation next time we have these El Nino effects? So what are we doing to make sure that nobody dies of hunger? We have reversed the processes of our procurement. You know, we buy from the satellite depots, take to the main depots. We have now taken maize from the main depots back to the satellite depots in the 84 districts so that people don't have to travel long distances. They only have to travel the same distance they traveled when selling the maize.
From giving our beneficiaries maize to giving them drought-resistant seeds and growing drought-resistant crops such as the varieties of sorghum, millet, beans, cowpeas, and that's the way we are moving. And we're not moving from the traditional cropping next year, but we are moving immediately.
ZARI is a department under the Ministry of Agriculture, and its primary mandate is to generate and adapt crop and soil technologies for the farming community with respect to addressing food security and diversification. Kalan Michima reporting for Zanis in Chilanga.
Thank you so much, Kalan Muchima, for that report. Now, still in Lusaka province, the Public Service Microfinance Company has signed a memorandum of understanding with Amiran Zambia for the financing and provision of agro-services to public service workers at a reduced rate of 9%. And PSMFC Chief Executive Officer Mubanga Mwinko says the agreement will give public service workers access to irrigation equipment and facilities. Details in this report.
Public service workers who are or plan to venture into agriculture will now have access to affordable financing for irrigation equipment and services for their agricultural activities. This is contained in a memorandum of understanding signed today between the Public Service Microfinance Company and Amiran Zambia. Public Service Microfinance Company Chief Executive Officer Mubanga Mwiko explains that the change in weather patterns makes irrigation a very important tool for farmers, hence the service being availed to public service workers in agriculture.
We are here as Public Service Microfinance to sign a partnership with Amiran in terms of irrigation. I think as you've seen what has happened in the last year in terms of agro output, we have had the situation of the drought, and that has affected the crop yield. It basically has wiped out the crops all across the country. So from government's perspective, it has been an issue of, let's talk about irrigation as a way to go. And Amiran are the experts in such a field, and that's what I'm saying, it's a momentous opportunity for us. Looking at the fact that we'll be signing one of the leading agro dealers in the world. I think Amiran is one of the agro dealers in the world. So with irrigation and that will help us, especially avoid what has happened in this last farming season.
Amiran Country Manager Crystal Ace has encouraged public service workers to take advantage of the facility, which he said will benefit them greatly.
Where we can assist government employees to be successful and grow their businesses and into successful big businesses, where we can eventually one day we see them as big, big commercial farmers and big commercial farming operations. And I think this is a really good opportunity in terms of just putting food security number one on the agenda again, but it's also giving people opportunity and access to good quality product at a good price, and having people like in our team that can support them, not just from a technical perspective, but also from a skills perspective.
Mr. Ace further explained that Amiran will be able to provide other services under the MOU, including consultation, extension services, and possible market linkages.
We also provide like an extension service, where my agronomists, which we've got across the country, will then come and visit the farm from a time to time basis, and support the farmer in that sense. And I think that's what I meant by it's only limited by your imagination when it comes to ag.
Over 250 kwacha in agro loans is available for public service workers in mainstream government and quasi-government institutions. Sarah Miti for Zanis in Lusaka.
We now go to Luapula province, where our staffer Lewis Changwe reports that over 70 households in Mwanza-Bombwe district are affected by flash floods which have destroyed maize fields. Let us take a look at this report.
The over 70 households whose crops have been affected by flash floods in Mumboro village of Mwanza-Bombwe district are appealing to government to come to their aid. They made the call when District Commissioner Rosemary Mwiche visited the area to appreciate the damage done to the crop fields.
okutusesha fano kututwapa chifulo chini mailo twawundwa mailo twawunde chilekonga kubambi bakulafu
omba tulelo mba kufyo bwafuilisho pamunga mwe wabuteko muntu wafuilishe ko mwishi byo famwala atusonga pali nonje bantu tatukweti okwakuya no wakutwafuasi ni mwebu
kabili tapalu pwenga ndeishele pano twaikala ni pamumana tapali umuntu wakwe bati yo wabali ukwabali ukubena takwaba menshi bose peni mumenshi twaba.
Meanwhile, District Commissioner Rosemary Mwiche advised the residents to relocate to safer areas.
We had a flash flood. This flash flood always comes, especially in the rain season. We are here where, as you have seen, there is water that has come up almost to the house. And there are so many things that have been destroyed because of water. Food, some of them, the households that have been destroyed with water. It's for this reason that we have come that maybe these people, it is better we reallocate them so that we sort it forever.
And the District Disaster Management Officer, Eustace Chifumbano, also visited the affected victims.
The flash floods here in Mudele and Mbolo affected 70 households. These households had also consumables and some household properties which were destroyed due to the volume pressure of water.
Lewis Changwe, Zanis, Mwansabombwe, Luapra Province.
So much for that report. Now, Acting Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Mulambo Haimba, says the government will continue to seek European Union support in various electoral reforms. Mr. Haimba says the EU has had a long-standing relationship with Zambia regarding the electoral observer missions, which dates back to 2001. Speaking when the AU delegation handed over a final report of the EU election follow-up mission, Mr. Haimba says there is a need for electoral reforms and cooperation with the EU before the 2026 elections. Zanis reports that Mr. Haimba has also emphasized the need to put in place electoral reforms by mid-2025 to address various electoral issues in Zambia. And the EU ambassador to Zambia, Carolina Stansiak, says the report being presented started in January 2024 and was spearheaded by Maria Elena, a member of the European Parliament.
In a nutshell, I look forward to continuing work with our key stakeholders, including the EU, around these areas. These, we believe, are in the critical path to ensuring a successful process from now till the holding of the 2026 elections and beyond. Therefore, this to us is a tool that would be used for achieving some of our stated objectives as a government and as a people. So thank you very much for this. And please do extend our thanks to Her Excellency Maria Arena for the good work that has been done by her and her team from 2021 and before to where we are today. And we look forward to continued interaction on this basis of cooperation with her, the team, and the EU in general.
We're very happy to be handing over the report to you. We will be also handing it over to different stakeholders in Zambia, the people that Mrs. Arena met, to discuss the progress made in electoral reforms, but also what needs still to be done until, before the 2026 elections, but also in a longer term to enhance the electoral process. Please let me tell you that this report is an independent expert report, so it is not the views of the delegation of the European Union, but it is an assessment done at expert level, comparing to international standards on electoral processes and reform.
Now let us get to tourism news. The local people of Ikelengi district in northwestern province have demanded for the recognition of the source of the Zambezi River as a tourist attraction. They say the source of the river is frequently visited by both local and international tourists, hence the need for its recognition. Womba Weyenke interacted with the local people in Ikelengi and filed in this report.
The Zambezi River source lies in the heart of Ikelengi district in northwestern province. Zambia derives its name from this river. This is the river which is the source of Zambia's hydroelectric power supply. Despite receiving both local and international visitors, the local authority in Ikelengi district notes that the site has not been recognized as a tourist attraction.
So right now, that is where we are. And of course, you may wish to know that this district is considered as an aquifer for almost Central Africa, because it's a source of Zambezi River, and of course there are so many streams around. I think if you look at the topography of the district, you're talking about more than 1,000 streams around here. So we need to protect this asset, not just for Zambia, but even for the neighboring countries. So I think that discussion, I think is something that has been started.
And the caretaker at the Zambezi River source explains the history of the site.
I welcome you to the source of the mighty Zambezi River here in Ikelengi district. What you are seeing is actually the spring. It all starts from here. If you follow me very well, you see that I'm coming down to where the actual source is. I'm touching the waters here. This is the first waters of the Zambezi River, which is about 3,540 kilometers from this point to the Indian Ocean. The river begins to flow from here. It flows for about 300 meters underground. It's an underground river actually from this point downstream for about 300 meters. What you are seeing at the source is a fallen tree. If you can see very carefully, you would see that there's a lying tree on the ground, which has been in this position for quite some time. This tree fell around 1930s. But if you can see, it is still a very fresh tree with branches actually growing on top of it. It is believed that it was one of these trees that was used, because this place actually used to be a shrine. It was one of those that helped people get herbs from the source to the shrine.
Indeed, there is need for government to come in and provide facilities that will improve the site to befit the standards of a tourist attraction. Womba Weke reporting for Zanis in Lusaka.
Meanwhile, on the Copperbelt province, community members who live along the banks of the Kafue River in Kwacha constituents of Kitwe have thanked President Hakainde Hichilema for buying them a banana boat to enable them cross the crocodile-infested river safely. Let us take a look at this report.
Good road infrastructure is a critical element in promoting economic activities and improving the general livelihoods of citizens. This is what the people of Maisen, Chipata, and Mufuchan areas in Kitwe have been lacking as they struggle to cross the crocodile-infested Kafue River.
Kabla bridge pano ape pina nguvu ate utuntruwa bwino kati nga twaenda po is better twenda bwino twafika bwino abana kuma skulu bale abuka bwino iri boti mumwena apa ifso abana baingira mu boti balamba kulapira menshi kulafunya kaingisha menshi no kulipira tulipira ngata uko atanishita wabuke mwamona ngata uko atanishita wabuke kama wafu myempia fo kwacha olo bala kwa bushapano so apana kwa tu kwa chenkwe tena muchatu kwa changa bulanga na fitisha papene tu so papa takuni ba president batupele kwa wabu ato balanda tuwaumfwa na bridging na kwa tebo ruse pantimyasha abantu ishikulu na shifula batu wafuidishe.
But President Hakainde Hichilema has come to their aid by donating a motorized banana boat to ease their movements across the river.
In Kwacha constituents, Lubwa Ward, Kafue River there, our people were dying from being bitten by crocodiles. Some were drowning. They needed a boat, and we promised that we'll get a boat. The boat is here, plus the engine we are delivering there for Lubwa Ward. Here is the boat, plus the engine. Our people now will be crossing safely.
Area Councillor Brian Mwewa is grateful to the President as he calls it another fulfilled promise by President Hichilema.
So excited here. As we are here, you can see there's a boat which our President promised us in 2019 when we had the by-election. And of course, it has come at the right time, and this has demonstrated that the President is a man of his words. And today, we are witnessing here handing over of this boat for my people across Kafue River. People are so excited. The President hasn't only given us this banana boat, he has even gone further to even provide it with an engine. And I think this will be ideal for my people. This boat is very critical in as far as the lives of my people across Kafue are concerned. Predominantly, my people from Kafue River, across Kafue River, they survive on farming. So when they produce their farm produce, it's very difficult for them to ferry their produce across the Kafue River. And this has really given them a very, very hard challenge. So as area council, I'm so excited.
And Kitwe District Commissioner Lawrence Mwanza assures the Kwacha constituents residents of the coming expansion works of Langiriro Bridge across Kafue River.
The people of Moisen along Kafue Road, Kafue River, requested for a boat from His Excellency the President, and the President fulfilled by ensuring that that boat was delivered. In fact, that boat came a long time more. What we are waiting for is a motor, which was supposed to be transported to Kitwe. But finally it came, and we decided to hand over the boat and the motorized. Yes, it is a motorized boat, because in two parts, the boat itself and the motor. Everything was delivered, and I can share the excitement with the people, because it's a dream come true. People had a lot of challenges in crossing, because most of the people are doing the farming activities across Kafue River there. But the challenge with Kafue River, it is too close to the main bridge. We cannot consider putting up another bridge when we have the Mufichani Bridge. It's only that people are looking at the distance. If you have to cross Kafue, you have to go to the normal bigger bridge, which is the Mufichani Bridge, and walk coming down there. But also another thing, when you go into Kafue, there's a Blangiro one-way bridge. That's the one I think will be considered to be expanded, because we have already existing infrastructure. It's just a matter of making the double lane. We've got only one single lane. Maybe if you expanding, it will be cheaper to add up another lane, so that we have two. Those are coming, and also those are driving out or crossing, crisscrossing. But where Mufuchani, Moisen is, the boat at least will be able to help our people there to cross Kafue, because that's a big boat, and it's looking at the population who are crossing there. It's not much as compared to the people who are using the Mufuchani Bridge.
The donated motorized banana boats will be handed over to the people for use next week. Liz Ngobeka reporting for Zanis in Kitwe.
We now take our first break. I'll be right back shortly for more news.
Woman Thou Art is a program that offers counsel to the female folk, sharing real-life experiences and providing guidance to the women and young girls on necessary steps and conducts that will help shape and nurture a sober society. Watch Woman Thou Art on Zanis TV every Wednesday at 18:30 hours on the Topstar channel, channel 6 DTT, and channel 458 DTH. How I Made It is a program that delves into the many success stories of different people from all walks of life. Watch How I Made It on Zanis TV every Thursday at 18:30 hours on the Topstar channel, channel 6 DTT, and channel 458 DTH.
Zanis TV presents Chayangoma on Your People's Channel every Fridays at 19 hours. Chayangoma is a traditional musical program that teaches Zambians norms and culture through song and dance. Watch Zanis TV on Topstar channel, channel 6 DTT, and channel 458 DTH. Don't miss.
EMF Wise Cooperative in Mufulira district on the Copperbelt has flourished, boasting ownership of over 2,000 broilers and layers from grants the cooperative received from the Constituents Development Fund CDF. Let us get the details from this report.
EMF's cooperative in Murundu area of Mufulira district on the Copperbelt province were recipients of 39,000 kwacha from the Constituency Development Fund CDF empowerment grants, which enabled them to kickstart their chicken rearing initiative. Initially starting with 600 broiler birds, the group's diligent efforts saw their capital grow from 39,000 kwacha to 60,000 kwacha, enabling them to expand their business to include 600 hens. Encouraged by their success, the cooperative secured a 150,000 kwacha CDF empowerment loan, allowing them to further bolster their enterprise by acquiring an additional 600 point-of-lay hens and 1,000 broiler chickens. Today, the group stands as a thriving enterprise, boasting over 2,000 birds, comprising a mix of point-of-lay hens and broilers, cementing their position as dependable suppliers of eggs and broiler chickens in the community.
HH bali bombapa kalamba tuna abantu abale kwateri ishukuri kwa bapera grant ngababo mpya muri bucina na bucinka economy ya chalo lino kuchinja.
The group remains steadfast in their commitment to expansion, currently in the process of constructing additional chicken runs to accommodate their growing business operations. Rachel Chisulo, Zanis, Mufulira.
Thank you for that report. And now in Muchinga province, our staffer Angel Hall reports that Isoka District Commissioner Jairo Simbeye has bemoaned the poor state of infrastructure in some schools in Chiyonga Ward. Here is a report.
Poor infrastructure has been plaguing many communities in the country. Chinyonga Ward is not an exception. Chinyonga Ward Councillor Hastings Silengo has bemoaned the state of Chinyante Primary School in Isoka District.
As government, we have prioritized the education sector, but to attain the quality education is difficult. You can see the learning environment is not conducive. So even for our learners to be motivated, it's difficult. That's why you find that even if the pass rate, it will go down. Classrooms that are congested, and you know the introduction of the free education. At least we have enough learners, 324 learners, and this is a 1x4. So a 1x4 to accommodate 324, so that we have enough school infrastructure so that we can accommodate these learners. What I've seen from the CDF committee, most of the resources, that channeling most of the resources just within town, instead of looking to these other schools that are dotted around the district. So found that most of the resources, they're just funding schools or maybe projects just within town. When giving out the CDF, they just distribute the CDF equally. Whether it's a rural constituents, it's in town, they receive equally.
Isoka District Commissioner Jairo Simbeye has visited the school and has called for collaborative effort in lobbying for funds to improve the learning facility infrastructure.
Authority of these monies is given back to the people. Decide who takes this money and which are the priorities in the area. So that at least we are able, even when I do a visit like this, let that committee, maybe a chairman, be there to come with me to come and see the challenges on the ground. Because this issue of seeing things on paper, I believe it doesn't add up. You will find those people who are presenting those documents, they have never been on the ground. It's good that you had to pressure me to come and visit the school so I'm able to see for myself. I thought the school was even better conditioned than the way it is. With the efforts that is being shown already, you deserve to get something. A full report that you can come to my office, besides the CDF, so that we can at least lobby on your behalf in whichever way that we can get on the other side.
Angel Hall, Isoka District.
And now, in a related development, Shiwangandu District Commissioner Maureen Wembia has expressed happiness with the construction of 10 classroom blocks in the district and the procurement of 3,500 desks to be distributed to different schools. Henry Lumpa has the details.
Constituency Development Fund, CDF, continues to make a positive impact in the communities. Shiwangandu District in Muchinga Province is also benefiting from this initiative through the construction of classroom blocks and other facilities. Shiwangandu Secondary School is one of the latest to benefit from a 1x4 classroom block among the 10 new projects that have been handed over in the district at a cost of over 7 million kwacha, coupled with some new desks. Speaking during the official handover, Shuangandu District Commissioner Maureen Wembia observed that this development is responding positively to the presidential directive with regard to the education sector.
I have no doubts that these classroom blocks will help to reduce the pupils' classroom leisure. Further, the 3,500 school desks will ensure that no child sits on the floor as my president, your president, directed.
The learners, as well as the district education authorities, have described CDF as a game changer.
We would like to thank you for the support you have rendered towards the construction of the 1x4 classroom block. For these previous years, learning and teaching has been a challenge.
I want to also to thank the council management for supporting the CDF and ensuring that the projects are done.
Recently, about 6 other CDF projects were approved for implementation in Shuangandu this year. Henry Lompa Jr., Zanis in Shuangandu, Muchinga Province.
Meanwhile, government has given out loans to 53 individuals amounting to 1.3 million kwacha in Chadiza district under the Sustainable Agriculture Financing Facility credit window. Jubel Zulu has more in the following report.
Government continues to support farmers. The reason behind the Sustainable Agriculture Financing Facility credit window initiative for farmers in Chadiza taking advantage of the loans seemed unattainable but couldn't resist the package. This is why some individuals, including civil servants, took up the challenge and got the loans.
So using the credit window, I think this is an opportunity that has come to farmers, especially those that don't have the chance to benefit from FISIP. Yeah. So this is a window that is open to everyone. And from the past season, we were able to issue as a district over 1.3 million. And you find that in terms of categories, those that got 10,000 kwacha loans were 12. Then those that got 20,000 kwacha loans were 21. Those that got 30,000 kwacha loans were 12 again. Then we had 3 that got 40,000, and we had 7 that got 50,000.
The district commissioner assures the farmers of continued support.
Government through the Ministry of Agriculture in Chadiza is promoting sustainable agriculture practices among smallholder farmers. I am aware that the ministry has partnered with private sector, who are the main collaborating partners in the provision of inputs and implements to raise the objectives of the ministry. Sustainable agriculture practices have been promoted at all stages in the production line, that is from planning and budgeting.
The beneficiary is happy and shares his experience.
Chisinsi cha ulimi wa lero apa mumvetse kwambiri ngati simutolapo mfundo apa mpaka kale njala sikata. Chisinsi cha ulimi wa lero si chimalo cha chikulu. Chisinsi cha ulimi wa lero ni mbeu zambiri pa malo yochepa. Malo yakulu simkaya peza tachulukitsa. Kulibe malo lomba. So kanka joli nako zichulukeni mbeu mkati mwandime. Upzala pafupi. Sono pafupi pake kuti mbeu ipulumuke monga chimanga. Nuone tsetsa kuti kamodzi chabe pa pando lililonse.
Jubel Zulu, Zanis, Chadiza District, Eastern Province.
Thank you so much, Jubel Zulu, for that report. Now let us get to health news. The Choma District Health Office in Southern Province has expressed serious concern over the increased number of child pregnancies being recorded in the region. Wakumelo Sitali has more in this report.
Child pregnancies undermine girls' rights and compromise their opportunities to realize their full potential. Sadly, teenage pregnancies have continued to rise in Choma district, with the district currently standing at 25%. This is worrying to the district health department.
Last year, 2023, we booked 11,097 women who started antenatal. Of these, 2,829 were below the age of 20. This year, for January alone, we booked 1,094 pregnancies, and of these, 289 were teenagers. And in February, we had 986 pregnancies that were booked, and then 231 were teenagers. So you've seen that the numbers are quite high.
The district nursing officer also highlights some of the dangers of teenage pregnancies.
During delivery, they may end up having complications, what we call VVFs, cesarean section. They may develop hypertension and all those other problems. They may not take care of themselves well if they had maybe a wound or like a cesarean wound, and some have even died during childbirth. And then they may not take care of the child because a teenager is still a child. They also need to play, and now they have a responsibility to take care of a human being. So you find that that child will also end up with problems of malnutrition, and we may end up with sick babies, or maybe the babies may even end up dying.
Meanwhile, Chief Chikanta wants the fight against teenage pregnancies to be incorporated with the fight against substance abuse.
My call to other stakeholders, especially the local authorities and other stakeholders who have an interest in child marriages and teenage pregnancies, to vigorously look at alcohol and drug abuse. Let's fight them together. We shouldn't separate. If our children are still taking a lot of alcohol, even if we try to engage them, we won't succeed. So we should holistically look at alcohol and drug abuse seriously.
Wakmelo Study, reporting for Zanis in Choma District, Southern Province.
Thank you, Wakumelo Sitali, for that report. And now we get to mining news. The Japanese government has pledged an investment of 1.5 billion United States dollars to support investment by Japanese companies to boost Zambia's mining sector. Japan's Minister of Economy, Trade and Industry, Mr. Saito Ken, says the Japanese Business Corporation is eager to invest in the country's mining industry. In a statement made available to Zanis today, the First Secretary Press and Public Relations at the Embassy of the Republic of Zambia in Japan, Faith Chilube, the minister was speaking today during a bilateral meeting held at the MERT offices in Tokyo, and met Vice Minister Mr. Takuishi reaffirmed the pledge during the Japan-Zambia Investment Seminar in the Tokyo today, organized by the Japan Organization for Metals and Energy Security. He said his government seeks support from the Zambian government once the investment materializes, and hopes to conclude the investment agreement as soon as possible. And speaking at the same event, Minister of Mines and Minerals Development, Paul Kabuswe, stated that to enhance the beneficial cooperation in mineral exploration and mining, government is proposing collaboration and investment with Japan in areas such as continued cooperation and support in geological mapping of the country. Well, still in other news, the Iteji Magistrate Court has convicted 3 fishermen on various fishing-related offences and sentenced them to 6 months in prison. And Mwala Nyambe, 26, of Chubolia B compound, and Gibson Nyambe, 27, of Lilanda compound in Iteji district were in the first count charged with unlawful entry into the national park in violation of Section 18, subsection 1, and 136 subsection A of the Zambia Wildlife Act No. 14 of 2015. And particulars alleged that on March 1st, 2024, the 2 entered Kafue National Park in Iteji without a park entry permit. In the second count, they were charged with unlawful possession of weapons in a national park in violation of sections 20 subsection 1 and B and 136 subsection A of the Zambia Wildlife Act No. 14 of 2015 of Zambian laws. The particulars of the offence were that on the same day in Iteji district, the 2 had in their possession weapons, namely a fishnet and boat in the Kafue National Park without permit. And in the other count, the duo were charged with unlawful fishing. And finally, to end the news with sports, Minister of Youth, Sport and Arts Elvis Nkandu says government will continue to support the development of sport through the provision of required sports facilities across the country. Mr. Nkandu says government will continue to use sports as a means of promoting physical well-being and social cohesion in communities. The minister was speaking last evening at the 2023 National Sports Awards held at the Mulungushi International Conference Center under the theme Celebrating the Gems of Sporting Excellence at 60. He disclosed that his ministry has equalized allowances for senior male and female football players to motivate female athletes, which has led to them recording remarkable achievement in the football fraternity, such as qualifying to the 2023 FIFA World Cup and the 2024 Paris Olympic Games. And among those who received awards are Sportsman of the Year, Patrick Chinyemba. For boxing, Zambia Air Force received the Medal of Honor. Dennis Liwewe was posthumously awarded the President's Award, and Samuel Matete won the Minister's Award.
These awards are very, very important to all of us, especially to our athletes and sports persons who have continued to fly the Zambian flag high around the world. The ministry is delighted to be joined by the sports family and indeed our valued distinguished sponsors in putting this event together. We strongly believe that to promote sports development, there is need to recognize and reward hard work in the sector. And in this regard, the National Sports Awards have been developed to provide a platform on which to evaluate the year and appreciate outstanding performances by Zambians in sport at national, regional, continental, and international level. As we celebrate the achievements of 2023, it is worth noting that the importance of sport is recognized across the globe. For instance, Nelson Mandela is quoted as saying, "Sport has the power to change the world. It has the power to inspire. It has also the power to unite people in any way that little else does. It speaks to youth in a language they understand. Sports can also create hope where there was once only despair. It is more powerful than governments in breaking down racial barriers. It laughs in the face of all types of discrimination. Sports indeed is a game of lovers. It does also equalize the allowances for the senior male and female football players. If the men are getting $5,000, the women are also getting the same. This is the only country maybe in the world which is doing that. This intervention is a notable motivation to our female athletes, which has led to them recording remarkable achievements in the football fraternity, such as qualifying to the 2023 FIFA World Cup and the 2024 Paris Olympic Games. In an effort to promote sports development in the country, government will be launching the 2024 National Sports Policy this year. This policy focuses on, among other things, promoting the commercialization of sports, sports tourism, inclusiveness in sports, and promotion of physical education and sports. To this end, the government, through the ministry, will continue to support the development of sport through the provision of quiet sports facilities across the country. Additionally, government will continue to use sport as a means to promote physical well-being and social cohesion within communities.
Well, that sporting item brings us to the end of the news. And before I finish, we look at the headlines once again. President Hichilema tasks researchers to develop drought-resistant crops. Public Service Microfinance signs MOU with Imiran, Zambia for agro-services. Plus, government to continue supporting sports development. On behalf of the entire production team here at Zanis, thank you so much for staying tuned. It has been Margaret, and my sign language interpreter has been John Chilu. Stay tuned.